Hi, Charles here. Well, today we're at Sycamore Springs RV Park, which is a private park outside of English, Indiana. And we spent the night here because in about an hour we're headed back to Red's design to have Red install a DC to DC charger for us. Thanks for watching. Well, we've now done 2 trips with our new window and we really like it. Susie made a yellow curtain to have in the daytime, say if we're taking a nap and just want a little privacy. It occurred to us we could put the same plastic, the white vinyl covering that we have on the back windows here, but I like this look. But more importantly, when that vinyl gets wet, you can hardly see out of it. So when we're driving in the rain and I look in the mirror, I really can't see out, so I really depend on my camera up on the top. So we're going to leave it just like this. We do notice the door seems to feel a bit heavier because that glass has to be heavier than that teeny thin metal that's part of the side of a Transit. So what's going to happen today, and I'm really not going to film much of it, I'll just show some photos. Red's going to be putting in, and you'll be seeing pictures here, a Victron DC to DC charger is going to go mounted underneath where the microwave sits, and he's simply going to wire it to a customer power connection, which is on the driver's side. I thought my van did not have one. I'd watched videos of Transits in England, and they would open the door here, which is the driver's side over in England, and they had this cap you pulled, and there were these connection points with a 60 amp fuse, and some of them had 3, but a place for 3. So I just thought, oh, we don't have them here in America. Just like in the Transit in England has 2 places on the front bumper. You can unscrew, pull out a piece of plastic, and screw in like tow hooks, recovery hooks. So I thought we don't have that either, so I guess we don't have the power point. It's right over there. I didn't know it because Red mentioned that. He goes, oh, I'll just connect it right there. So I'll be showing you that. And that's really it. He's going to wire it, and we're going to run a wire through holes I've already got in the bed platform on the driver's side to the back so we can plug in for the Ecoflow to charge. So that's really what's going to happen today. So it's really not going to take him a lot of time unless we get talking a lot. So we'll head over there shortly and let you see what he's doing. And I'll let him introduce himself because I didn't do that in the last one, and I don't know why I did that. So I'll let you hear a little bit from Red. So this road right here, running by Red's Custom Designs, goes straight to the park. So just we actually went a farther way to get there, but we found out this morning we could come straight this way. Not much to show. Back here we have a wire running, and he's one of the guys is wiring up one of these XT60 connectors, and so that will plug into whenever I want to charge into the XT60 connector here. And this you can plug in that DC to DC charger or unplug it and be charging from solar. So you can't do both at the same time. So not a lot to show, and I'm not going to show you him soldering, but let me show you a little bit up front. So right there you see the wire that's going to be connected to the battery charger, which is going to be installed right up above the fridge. And then that wire runs through the boxes and to the back. Well, I indeed did not film much at all. It was just kind of silly. Red's worker stripped the 10 gauge pair of wires that ran to the back, and I showed how long I want it to be so I would have extra to plug it in. And then he ran these 2 wires. They go in here. These wires go to the connection point, and that's really it. And it's just mounted on our shiplap here. So it was just, there's no reason to show him doing those very simple tasks, but I really wanted them to do it for me, especially with the wiring up here, just to be safe. So that's pretty much it about the install. After I finished doing that, then I decided to film a little bit with Red. So right after this point here, it'll be just a short little interview with Red. And Red and I are going to be doing a series of 5-minute videos all about van building and his services and what he does. And one of the best parts, we stopped at a place outside of Salem called the Twirl. Good food, good ice cream. Okay, one more thing before the short interview with Red that you may or may not want to watch. I posted about this on a Ford Transit USA page that I'm on. And of course, as soon as you show anything, installation, wiring, I don't care what it is, someone's going to say, oh, you should have done this, or you should have done that, or that won't work, or they'll say something. And I did have one guy who said he's worked with Ecoflow. It doesn't work at Ecoflow. And he said, the engineer said, we shouldn't do this with the Victron. So I called customer support, and their response was, well, if it works for you, you're probably fine. They said, we just want to tell our customers that if you use a product, whether it's a solar panel even, or a DC-DC charger, that if there's anything flaky that happens and damages the Ecoflow, that they won't cover it under warranty. It even surprised me about the solar panels, because everybody's using a lot of different kinds of solar panels with these solar generators, whatever the brand is, and they work just fine. I mean, I suppose you could buy something terribly cheap, but if you use a decent brand that's well reviewed, you should be fine. So that's kind of what that was about. And then I found out that Ecoflow apparently is prototyping their own branded DC to DC charger. So maybe they found an opportunity for a product that they could sell. More people maybe are doing this instead of the standard stack of lithium 100 amp Battleborn or whatever batteries in the back. So we'll see if they send me one to show you that. But in the meantime, this is going to work fine, and I don't have any worries about it. Lots of opinions out there, that's for sure. Now to my little interview with Red. I'm just going to film here. Hey, Charles is here again. We're back at Red's, and your name is really Eric.
Correct.
But you go by Red.
Yep.
And
for obvious reasons.
One of his guys just finished installing my Victron DC-DC charger. And why was it a good idea for me to do this?
For future upgrades. If you decide to go with lithium batteries, you don't have to do anything but hook it up.
Right.
Also, it limits how much power is being pulled from your alternator that's going back there, and then
I have Ecoflow.
Ecoflow already limits it down anyway. So it's just a good safety feature. You can monitor it a lot easier.
And if I had wired it directly, what could have happened?
Well, since that has a built-in limiter, not much. But
right.
If you would have wired that straight to a lithium battery, it would have fried your alternator, because it would have pulled more from the alternator than it could have supplied.
Right, and Victron's got a great video showing that on a bench where they recreate a car,
yeah.
And it's smoking.
Yeah.
But even with the direct wire, I wouldn't have a way to turn it off.
Correct.
So this takes care of everything. It's Bluetooth, and it's all that you use, right?
Yeah, we're majority of Victron. I mean, right. For me, the big thing is customer service.
Right.
And I used to be in Energy. It was a little more affordable. A little more people could afford that. But nothing against their product.
You're right.
But their customer service sucks.
Right.
I was a preferred installer, and I still couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
Where Victron, I've got 2 contacts straight with Battleborn. Call them, Dragonfly Energy, and they're right there. They always pick up, email me right back, and take care of any issues I have.
So we are an example of somebody who already did their van build, but Red knew. I called twice. I am not cutting another hole. I mean, if you're new to my channel, we did everything else. We cut all these other holes, but this one made me nervous. It probably shouldn't have, but I was glad to have a pro do it, because he just, boom, did it. And then I wanted this wired, and I want it wired directly because I don't want to fry my stuff. Yep. So just tell real briefly, what happens here besides somebody coming in and wants something like this? What's your main thing?
Well, we do full van conversions. We do bus conversions, camper repairs. We even build vans in stages. I've actually got a customer in here today. She's coming back for a little bit of upgrades. But if you can't afford to have it done all at one time, as long as we know what your end goal is, so we can plan ahead for it, we can build your van over 2 or 3 years if you need to. We have a bread truck over here that we're converting for a Evansville police officer when he gets ready to retire. He can't afford to do it all right now, but he's going to do a little bit each year till he retires, and then that's what he's moving into. So, it just depends on what works for your budget, your lifestyle, and then trying to adapt. Because if you've never done it before, you don't know what works for you. And
you watch videos, and I watched a million before we did this, and you think you know, but we are really pretty happy. We really thought this through, and so there's nothing about how we laid it out too much that we would change at all. But we're lucky, because most people think they know, and they think
everyone watches the YouTube videos, the Instagram, they want that, and then they actually get out there, and
reality's not the same. Yeah,
it looks great in pictures, but they'll either never use it, or it's a pain, just like the dinette. Everyone wants a dinette bed. Well, they'll put it up and down about 2 or 3 times, and then figure out how big of a pain it is.
Yep.
And then it stays in the bed, and they go sit outside.
Right.
So it's just, everything looks nice, it sounds good, but till you actually do it.
And day by day during a trip, it
Yes.
gets old in a hurry.
Yes.
Definitely. So you basically will convert pretty much anything that people bring in, because I've seen you do ProMasters,
Yep.
and people drop off brand new vehicles.
Yeah, ProMasters, Transits, Sprinters,
Buses.
campers, cargo trailers, as long as it is safe and makes sense.
Right.
I can usually work around most budgets.
Yeah.
We can adapt a few things. We can swap out some stuff. It just depends on as long as you have a realistic budget.
Right.
I get a lot of people that have caviar taste on a McDonald's budget.
There we go. Yeah.
But and a lot of people just don't know how much it costs to do that. They think, oh, just throw one lithium battery in it, and you can run an air conditioner. Yeah, not quite.
No, not really.
But I get that call during the summer all the time.
Absolutely.
They want to install a solar panel to run their air conditioner. Solar panel doesn't run the air conditioner.
It's oversold, yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm hoping to come back again sometime, and I want to do a little series with them, and we'll talk about the planning, how you plan for this, and just a lot of caveats about what works. Like we were just saying, you think something's going to work, and it really doesn't do what you think it's going to do. Like solar is overblown as far as I'm concerned.
Depends
it's great
on where you're going to be at.
Where you're going to be and all that, but some people have unrealistic. Probably the better thing is they have unrealistic expectations.
Correct.
So anyway, well, I thank you so much for doing this work. I keep saying I'm all done, but I seem to find something. but
especially if you like projects, you're never
right.
done.
Yeah. Well, thanks for getting on camera
Not
with
a
me,
problem.
and thanks
Thanks,
for your
sir.
work.
Good to visit with you.
Alrighty. Thanks for watching.